Hello, everybody. Xyco back. I'm your bad influencer, telling you things you don't want to know and showing you things you don't want to see. And today I'm telling you about a discussion. It was a conversation, I should say, I had with an Indian Muslim, and I actually, again, as always, I enjoy these conversations, and he seemed to be very knowledgeable, and not just in Islam, but in Christianity, and to a certain degree also in Judaism, which I think is good. Um, of course, he will still deny Judaism and Christianity because Islam is the best, supposedly, which I don't believe. But anyway, the conversation was interesting, and we did cover certain topics that, I'm sorry to say, kind of prove the Christian religion wrong, any Christian religion, especially regarding the Trinity, which was never mentioned by Jesus Christ or any of the other prophets. It was invented by the church, so by the spiritual leaders, the Christian spiritual leaders. So by that definition, I don't believe in it. When I use Christian prayers, yes, I do make the sign of the cross, and I do. Personally, I accept Jesus as the most important prophet because he actually performed miracles. He actually, through his sacrifice, now even the non-Jews have a chance to enter the kingdom of heaven. So I am one of those he saved. And I do believe in the Holy Spirit, but not as an equal to God and to Jesus, but I believe in the Holy Spirit as something that we all have inside us. And this is more a Hindu teaching where we are all tiny parts of God. And I don't want to give away too much. Just enjoy the conversation, follow along, and see what we discussed, and make up your own mind. Tell me what you think. So this is what was discussed. Salam alaikum.
Pardon?
Are you Muslim?
Yeah. Oh,
Salam.
you said salam alaikum.
Salam alaikum.
Walaikum.
How are you, brother?
I'm all well. How's it in the Philippines?
It's wonderful, beautiful weather, beautiful nature, nice people.
Are you Muslim? You're in the Philippines? Muslim
Yes.
in the Philippines?
Yeah. Many Muslims here.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
I heard that the north and the south, the top north and the south are Muslims in Philippines.
I'm not sure about the North. They're rebellious, but it's more a political thing. They're more,
Pointed north.
yeah, no, they're communists. It's more a political rebellion. The in the south, like in the Mindanao area, yeah, it's predominantly Muslim, and you have many Muslim tribes there.
Oh, that's good to know.
Mm.
That's good to know.
Actually, Islam was brought here into Philippines before Christianity. Islam came from Malaysia, and it was offered, and the locals embraced it. And Christianity was brought by Magellan by force through the Inquisitions. So they tortured everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So, mashallah, there. I hope there are more Muslims in the Philippines, especially in the north, because if there were like in the north, I think the north is more developed. Correct me if I'm wrong.
uh, no, not necessarily. The Northerners are more logical thinkers. They're religious. I mean, everybody is religious, but the main development is still around Manila, which is Midwest. The
All right, that's yeah. Hey, there's a lot of Jollibees in Hong Kong as well, by the way.
which I don't like, too sweet. But yeah, I guess to
Yeah,
each their
me
own.
too. That there are like Caesarea, Caesarea.
Hmm.
Heard of it?
No.
It's like a it's not necessarily a fast food branch. It's a Japanese Italian
Fusion.
you know cuisine. Yeah, it's they sell a
Excuse me.
lot of these. So a lot of these things I ate there today because usually I have to be very careful of
Mm-hmm.
what is halal, what is not. So I just ordered something like shrimp, broccolis and spaghetti pesto
Mm-hmm.
sauce, that kind of
Yeah,
things.
that always works.
Like shrimp is totally fine, unless if you're a Hanafi.
Yeah, because that's a funny thing. Because I'm a student of all religions, and I know in the Torah and in the Bible they don't allow shellfish, so no shrimp, no crabs, no lobster, no nothing. And I'm not sure if the Jews actually eat all that,
they
but
don't
they don't, right?
they don't eat shellfish. For them, it's
Mm,
forbidden.
yeah,
They don't even. I think they drink. I think they can drink alcohol
yeah, yeah.
to a
Even
certain
Christians.
amount. Christians, they both can drink alcohol, but we can eat shrimp. Christians can eat shrimp,
No,
but Jews cannot.
no.
Christians and
Even in the Bible, it's actually written same. Pork is forbidden. Shrimp,
yeah, 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 but Christians don't follow it
no.
because they believe that they are, like I think in the New Testament it says,
It
things
actually
like
doesn't say anything because I read the New Testament and I got very confused because they claim to be Christian, following the teaching of Jesus, but then and I know for a fact in the Bible it actually says Jesus said I did not come to abolish the law. I did
Matthew
not
5.
right. I did not come to deny the prophets. I just came to fulfill the prophecy. And yet many of them still choose
Yeah,
not to
yeah,
follow the Old
yeah.
Testament. I'm like,
Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I've
exactly.
come not to abolish them, but to fulfill them,
Yeah,
i.e., referring to the prophecies. Many Christians will use Isaiah 53 as their go-to prophecy.
I have no idea which one that is.
Isaiah 53.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't I did not memorize the. But can you recite it if you know?
it's like Isaiah 53 is actually talking about the servant Israel. If you read it in context,
Mm-hmm.
many Christians purposefully they just hey, look, 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 it's referring to Jesus. If you look at Mark and Matthew, I'm not sure it's either Mark or Matthew,
Mm-hmm.
they try to put Jesus in the Old Testament forcefully. They are the ones, these unknown authors. We don't know who Matthew or Mark are.
Uh-huh. Let me write this down because I think this is very interesting.
They are pushing this idea that Jesus is mentioned in the Old Testament.
No.
Like if you ask any knowledgeable Jew, they will deny it, and not only they have actually evidences for it to deny it. I'll tell you one thing, because we don't need the Old Testament, we don't need the Hebrew Bible to prove the prophethood of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa alihi
Mm.
wasallam. We don't need to do that, but they need it to prove
Yeah,
their
I think it's a bit of insecurity because
Christian.
realistically, yeah, because I think realistically, yeah, Jesus was a Jew, right? And they're trying very hard to deny that, like, oh no, because he got himself baptized, so he's not a Jew anymore. But nothing like that was ever written in it. He did not say I'm not a Jew anymore. In fact, even the Holy Trinity, Jesus never mentioned that. That's literally a
Yeah,
made up.
this is something which was established in the Nicene, and then later word in Constantinople.
Yeah, it was made up later by the
Yeah,
Christians.
yeah,
It was had
yeah, yeah.
nothing to do with.
Mainly in Nicaea and Constantinople. I think in Nicaea they made Jesus God. In Constantinople they made the Holy Spirit co-equal to
Hmm.
God, to God the Father and God the Son. So they basically, like, it took them like pretty much almost 400 years, or to be precise, three in the year 381, which would be like many years. It took many years for them to, like, come up with this idea of the Trinity.
Yeah, yeah, and until now, they're and like, again, I respect everybody. If they're happy with it, fine. But I don't see how it makes sense because, like I said, I read the Bible out of curiosity, and
But brother,
uh
when we criticize this Christianity, we do it sincerely. We do it with points.
yeah,
Do you when Christians criticize Islam, it's always ad hominems,
Yeah. Yeah.
ad hominems, mockery, or even like just cheap points, atheist type of points.
I tend to agree. I tend to agree. Not all, yeah, but as a general, yes, they have this. We are better than you guys, and
Like
because
we come up with very good arguments. We come up with the Trinity. We come up with the blood sacrifice, the blood atonement,
hmm
and we come up with the crucifixion, and the Eucharist and many other things. We come up with these people. They are just they're more into the ad hominem mockery, and when they attack Islam using moral issues, they're just shooting themselves in the foot.
yeah, I think because I think the problem and look, you're very knowledgeable. I believe I'm quite knowledgeable. I think the whole misunderstanding is a lot of Christians and Muslims who have no proper knowledge of the actual scriptures. They tend to debate, and then the people standing outside, they're like, see, Muslim, Christian, both of them are crazy. The Muslim says this, but many Muslims debating, they themselves also have no idea. Many Christians debating have no idea. So for me, I actually very much enjoy this kind of conversation. I can learn something, and hopefully, people can learn from me. But
Yeah,
in the right way. I'm not trying to convince anybody that I'm the best, or And I think a lot of people miss the big picture, so they're just sharing from personal belief rather than actually knowing the scriptures.
yeah, that's why I'm telling to the Christians, you're gonna attack Islam. Use actual arguments. Don't
hmm
use moral arguments. If you're gonna use moral arguments, it's gonna backfire you. That's why we speak about the Trinity. That's why we speak about the Bible, the preservation of the Bible.
Actual scriptures. Yeah, yeah.
We speak about monotheism, preservation of the Scripture, and many more stuffs.
Okay,
Well,
you're an Indian, and you're gonna love this because this has been my issue with the Trinity. If you claim that God is in heaven and God is incarnated on earth, so basically what you're saying is Jesus is an avatar of God. So you're a Hindu. So you're a polytheist.
but even the Hindus are more consistent because they themselves openly admit that they are polytheists. They don't deny that.
No, absolutely, absolutely. So, and I'm not mocking Hinduism. I'm just saying that Christians are denying this, and then they're basically teaching polytheism without even. So when I tell them that, especially because I know they're so proud of being monotheist, I'm like, you're being polytheistic right now because you believe in. So no, that's not true, and then they get very angry.
Yeah,
So I'm
like
like,
if you say this to a Hindu, they will say, "Hey, this is also like their definition of monotheism is
uh huh,
also like that.
yeah,
That hey, our gods, partialism. It's called partialism.
mm-hmm.
All of our gods are part of the one supreme God.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
all of these demigods you see, they're all part of the one supreme Godhead, Brahman, and
yeah.
they would in their mind they are also monotheists. They call themselves monotheists.
But honestly,
So
between you and I, that makes more sense as a monotheism and saying, okay, God is all powerful, so He can manifest Himself as whatever He wants, which we have to believe because if He's all powerful, He can do that. I'm not sure if He does or not.
yeah, but by that logic, you'd need to tell to the Hindus, to the Christians, hey, like to the Christians, Hindus are also monotheists.
Yeah, yeah, and I tried, but
What's wrong?
they just won't believe it.
Hindus are monotheists, so
Yeah,
you cannot condemn the Hindus for being polytheistic anymore.
absolutely,
Because
absolutely.
when the British colonizers came to India, that's how they did refer to them: idolaters, heathens. This is what they call them.
Yeah,
And if you call them idolaters and heathens, you're backfiring yourself. It doesn't make sense.
exactly, exactly, because your own religion does the same. Yeah.
I don't understand, because many British colonizers, like they came to India. That's
uh-huh.
how they attacked the Indians.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, and that's why I'm making this point because I find it insulting. I was having a discussion same with the Arab Muslim, and I told him, I said, look, man, I said the fact that they are attacking the prophet, that he married this and that he married that and the girl was very young, dude, you cannot. Has that ever happened after that? No, because those were the times. There was also
yeah, yeah,
maybe
yeah.
some
You
some
you ask
lodge.
any Christian, would you be okay
That's
with
their debate.
selling your daughter into slavery?
Yeah.
You ask any Christian, they would say no, but the Bible endorses it. Oh, well, that is for that time, they would say. Or how
So,
about
yeah.
slavery?
So when the
The New
Muslims do that,
Testament
they don't
endorses
accept.
slavery. If you're not aware,
Yeah.
the New Testament endorses slavery. So Christians cannot run away with this, slavery argument either, because slavery is mentioned in the New Testament,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and violence is also mentioned in the New Testament. Jesus says, "Sell your, upper garment and buy a sword instead."
Hmm.
And then, this is how Christians are.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I agree. I agree, and that's also part of the reason why I'm here, because I do vlogs. So I like, again, this kind of conversation, because I hoping more people see my videos and they would see, like, hey, maybe we should think about, again, it's not my purpose to change anybody or their, but I'm hoping that at least it makes them think a little bit, and people stop fighting. And because that's what I love about Islam says, hey, we're all people of the book, so we respect everybody equally. uh, there were some things in the past which did happen, but now we're past that. So why doesn't everybody, accept the next prophet? I have that issue also with them, and I'm also wondering. But
Yeah. Like, have you heard about how Christians argue with us? Christians, they sometimes now are coming up with better arguments, like,
some,
but
yeah.
still ridiculous. Like, some Christians tell me to, like, hey, your Quran tells to believe in the Bible, so believe in the Bible. Why you're not believing in the Bible? That's what the Christians say.
Well, yeah, but because it's and again, for me,
They're
I
they're
think Muslims do
assuming
believe.
they're assuming that their Anajil, which is, we believe in the Injil,
Hmm.
they believe in Anajil, Gospels.
Hmm.
When the Quran mentions the Injil, it's referring to their,
Yeah,
books,
the Holy Scriptures doesn't mean the
their
Bible.
their scriptures,
Yeah.
not what was in Medina, not what was with the hands of Waraqah bin Nawfal. He was a Christian who did not believe in the Trinity, who did not believe in these kinds of things. He
Hmm.
had prophecies of the Prophet Muhammad in his Injil, and he had many things that, that is not the same as the modern day Christianity is, like, today's Pauline Christianity.
Yeah, yeah. I actually believe that original Christianity was way different than what is practiced now. I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, even you can read Sunan and Nasai 5400. Like, I gave you this Sunan and Nasai.
Yeah.
Like, it's I mean, Al Albani. You know Al Albani,
No,
Sheikh Albani.
I
He's
haven't read it yet. I'm actually supposed to start.
I think he's a muhaqqiqin. He
Uh,
verifies hadiths.
mm-hmm.
He considers this to be sahih. So if you read Sunan an-Nasai 5400, uh, it is actually the saying of Ibn Abbas. Ibn Abbas, yeah, because Ibn Abbas, he tells how, these things, how they were corrupted,
Yeah,
how the real Injil and how the real Torah was Injil, because the Torah was re-revealed to Isa. Remember that the Quran says Allah taught Isa alayhi salam the Torah and the Injil. So the Torah was re-revealed.
mm-hmm.
So if you're asking about, who has the Torah and the Injil, Isa alayhi salam has the knowledge of the Torah and the Injil.
Yeah, yeah. I generally tend to not. Well, I don't want to completely trust on the explanations of experts, whether they're Christian or Muslim. Uh, I'm going to start reading the Quran soon, and I think that if you really
Yeah, but
believe,
Sunan al-Nasai is actually a Muslim or hadith collection, so it's
yeah, but
still relevant.
it's they're still written by Islamic experts, correct?
No, it's said by Ibn Abbas.
Yeah, but he
It's,
was he was not he was not. I mean, it's not the actual Quran.
Ibn Abbas is are you a Quranist or something?
No, I believe, like, in a form of the Holy Spirit, not as the Christians put it. But I think that if we have true faith and we read the Holy Scriptures, I think the best way will be explained to us. So, personal belief, even if we tend to interpret it a little bit different here and there, I think that if Allah is all powerful and He speaks through us, it is possible to interpret it in minor different ways. The foundation is the same, will always be the same. But I think that it's possible to interpret it in a bit different ways without being wrong. Because if Allah speaks to me through my true faith, I may interpret it in the right way for me, that He has chosen for me and not for everybody. Because there is still the free will. So within the free will, that is our karma, right? So I think it's possible to find a similar path, not exactly the same as all Muslims, all Christians, or because He has chosen a path for me, and if I choose to try to find Him, He will guide me through my path. Personal belief. I may be wrong. I actually have to start reading the Quran. When I finish, I'll read everything, and yeah, hopefully He will guide me to the right path.
Inshallah. You will be guided. You will be guided.
Yeah,
Ameen.
yeah. Because again, I believe I have true faith, and I want to know the truth. So yeah, I believe that He will, when the time is right, and Allah does everything. So
Yeah.
so we'll see where it takes me, and for me it's an exciting journey, because like I said, I study all religions, and I find truth in every one of them. But
But the ultimate truth is Islam. You can. Yeah.
yeah, I believe that. Personally, I also don't believe in a final, because Rasul, yeah, Muhammad so far seems to be the last one. But I do believe that Nabi still exist until now, because times change, and with the changing times, an example: are we supposed to use cell phones or not? Cars, jeans, and T-shirts.
That's an interesting perspective you
Yeah,
have. Like
so
you said, that
I think
prophets,
there is a lot of.
prophets still exist today.
Mhm. I believe that there still may be Nabi out there who still have some connection above, so they are meant to still give us guidance, but within the
You mean
scriptures.
scholars? Because
Scholar,
Nabi is the prophet is the last prophet.
hmm
He's the
No,
seal of his
not
prophet.
not scholars, because Rasul is basically bringing um, the law, right? The all the rules and regulations, and they are brought back again and again with expansion, right? Because all the laws were given in stages. So I still believe that there are still prophets out there who speak to Allah, but they are not meant to bring something new. They are just meant to guide within the scriptures. So a scholar is different. A scholar studies everything and interprets it hopefully the best way. But I believe there's actual people who still speak to Allah, but do not,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but do not bring any change. So the scriptures are there.
Okay.
Does it make sense? I mean, you may not believe what I'm saying, and it's just personal belief. But I mean, the point I'm making.
Well, you said that you can find truth in every religion, which is true.
Hmm.
But Islam is the ultimate truth, no matter what.
Yeah,
Is
like I said, that's
is
why I wanna really read the Quran for myself. I don't wanna trust on imams and all the. I want to read it for myself, and I really believe that Allah will guide me to understand it perfectly.
inshallah, bro.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you, brother. Dude, I
Yeah, man.
enjoyed this. I enjoyed this very much.
Yeah, sure. We'll meet again soon.
Yeah,
What's your name?
Jibril.
Jibril Jabir.
Jaber. Nice to meet you, Jaber.
Okay.
All right, brother.
Assalamu alaikum.
So, walaikum salam.
So was that interesting or what? Again, I don't feel right, because, like I said, I was born into a Christian family, and of course, it's still close to my heart. I still believe that out of the three religions, I tend personally towards Sikhism because I think if we have to pick one, I think that's the best religion, because Sikhism says we don't know, we have to believe. So we believe that if we do good deeds, by following the teachings of our prophets, but the Sikh prophets do not deny any other religion. So the Sikh prophets accept all religions. They say it does not matter which religion you have, as long as you worship the one God and your path takes you upwards. If you do good deeds and if you follow, all the good stuff, and you don't do the bad stuff, you still have a chance at heaven. So the religion is unimportant, and I love that concept. But if I would have to choose between the Abrahamic religions, I would still choose Christianity as the best one in many ways. Why? Because it is the most forgiving religion. I just think that it is not practiced properly. It is not practiced as per the way it was given. It was offered by Jesus. Christians left a lot of things that they did not really enjoy. They just left it out, like eating pork. It's still forbidden in the Bible. The shrimp and lobster and crabs, those are forbidden in the Bible, camel and everything. And yet Christians, they eat those things. So I have to wonder why. To think that Jesus is God is, for me, it's just nuts, because he never claimed that. It's claimed later by the church just to give more power to the religious leaders. So that's why I chose to distance myself from Christianity. But an example, the Jews are not even allowed to sit and eat together with the Gentiles, so with the non-Jews. And I find that insulting as a non-Jew. Yes, I still believe they are the chosen people. That's not going to change. And they will always do well, and they will always vanquish their enemies. I'm not an enemy of the Jews, but I find it insulting that they cannot eat with me, while they themselves are not very righteous. In Islam, the same thing. It says you cannot, if a Christian or a Jew wishes a Muslim salam alaikum, so peace be upon you, a Muslim can only react in kind to another Muslim. So the initial greeting is salam alaikum, and the reaction is wa alaikum assalam. So peace be upon you, and upon you may there be peace. But the Muslims cannot say that to a Christian or a Jew. They can only say wa alaikum, so and upon you. But the word peace they cannot use to a Christian or a Jew. And it's actually, and this is written in the Quran, it actually says that they actually have to push the non-Muslim aside to the bad part of the street, so they can walk in the good part. And to me, that's not a religion of peace. To me, that's not peaceful. And they can say it was just a suggestion, but if the prophet, if their prophet Muhammad was this righteous man, and if he was godly, and if he was a saint and holy, and he advised this kind of thing, I'm sorry, but that is not, with all due respect, that's not a religion I choose to follow. So I consider myself a Muslim by the definition that I do believe that I submit to the will of God. So by that definition, I guess you could say I'm a Muslim, because Muslim means to submit yourself to the will of God. But I do not follow Islam. I take, as with all religions, I take the teachings, the teachings that I think are true and that come from God. But this kind of thing that the prophets and that the followers of the prophets and that all these people themselves, they came up with, they made up, I do not follow any of that. I follow only what God specified. This should be unto all of you. This should be followed. This should be not followed. This should be done. This should be not done. Anything else to me is just, I'm sorry, with all the respect, but it's stupid. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna have many more videos coming up. I have lots and lots of interesting conversations good and bad, interesting, all are interesting. So as always, thank you for your patience. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope you start thinking for yourself. I hope you will always make up your own mind. Trust in God, have Him in your heart, and you will know what you're supposed to do. So as always, again, thank you. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.